Jason Belmonte has had a spectacular World Series of bowling, and he is a world traveler. And you know what? You've got to be. Your passport's got to weigh about 5 pounds if you're going to make the World Bowling Tour Finals. Danielle Mcewen's won the last 2 on the women's side, and she brings her A game once again. So can McEwan make it 3 in a row? And can Belmo win one more time in Reno? It's a great field. Let's find out.
He looks good. He looks good. It's over now.
Welcome to the World Bowling Tour Finals! Our women's finalists are the number 3 seed, which is a 3-time World Championship gold medalist from Malaysia, Shalin Zulkifli. From Stony Point, New York, the number 2 seed owns 3 PWBA Tour titles and 1 PWBA Major, Danielle Mcewen. The number 1 seed owns 2 PWBA Tour titles and 2 majors from Latvia, Diana Zavjalova. Our men's finalists are the number 3 seed from Yakima, Washington, with 4 PBA Tour titles, Marshall Kent. The number 2 seed owns 7 PBA Tour titles and 1 major from Gothenburg, Sweden, Jesper Svensson. From Orange, New South Wales, Australia, this number 1 seed just won his 9th major, Jason Belmonte. Here are your finalists in the World Bowling Tour Finals.
Along with the Hall of Famer Randy Peterson and Kimberly Pressler, I'm Dave Lamont. Randy, this is a different show, a different format, different scoring, but one thing is never different. Here's Jason Belmonte on top.
Yeah, what a performance last week by Jason Belmonte, and I promise you he will be voted once again the Player of the Year. But to battle back like he did when it looked like he had nothing, throwing the last 8 against Simonelli, winning in a roll-off, and then the double in the 10th frame to beat Jesper Svensson. Just truly an amazing and gifted player.
Now, on the women's side, we're going to see some real talent on this group here. Danielle Mcewen from the PWBA Tour. Diana Zavjalova, of course, is a 2-time Queen's champion, but McEwan is a 2-time champion of this event, and she's riding a hot streak in the WBT.
Danielle's got all the experience in this event, winning it back-to-back years. Last year, got very fortunate when Liz Johnson left the pocket 7-10 in the 10th frame to give Danielle the win. Look at that great smile. She knows how to win in this event.
Defeated Kelly Kulick 2 years ago. Liz Johnson, even these are Hall of Fame bowlers that she has defeated. And Danielle is standing by with Kimberly right now.
All right, thanks, guys. All right, so Danielle, you have won this event 2 years in a row, but it takes a whole lot to get here. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that process?
Oh, absolutely. Over the last 3 years, I've had the opportunity to travel all around the world to bowl these World Bowling Tour events and experience the culture in so many different countries. And to end up here on the show is just, it's the icing on the cake.
It sure is. Thanks so much for your time. We're going to send it back to you guys in the booth.
And if you look at Danielle's jersey, you see it has areas all over the world. It's kind of really what the World Bowling Tour is all about. Now, the scoring is very different. This is a 10-frame match. There's no extra shots in the 10th frame. You get 30 pins for a strike. A spare equals 10 pins and the pinfall of the first shot in the frame. And your open frame, you get what you get, and you don't get upset. And the max score is still 300, but here, Randy, 2 fewer strikes to achieve 300.
Yeah, 10 frames, not 12. I just think that this scoring system is much easier for people that are new to the sport to understand. Of course, I think the other system is easy, but I used to keep score as a kid. That's how I used to earn my practice money.
You had that little pencil and
I had the yellow pencil.
Yep, I remember it.
I used to have to rest my hand on that hot telescore unit.
And Danielle Mcewen kicks away at 10 to avoid a tough start in the first frame against her opponent, Shalin Zulkifli, a very accomplished player in Asia. no trouble for Danielle on this one.
And that would be 18 in the first frame for Danielle.
So we get our first look today at Zulkifli.
We'll talk about a long list of accomplishments.
10-time Malaysian Bowler of the Year. She's won silver in the Commonwealth Games, World 10-Pin Masters, the first woman to do so in 2010. 3 golds in World Championships, 3 golds in Asian Games. And a little light on the hit there.
Just a little soft getting to the pocket, but a nice opening start for Shalin.
Her favorite bowler, Parker Bone III.
Interesting because she's right-handed.
I know, that is kind of interesting. At 13, she was already on the national youth and adult team. Born in England, but now resides in Malaysia. Danger there, but it held.
How about this one? She was World Bowler of the Year in 1994 at age 16.
Yeah, that says everything. So she gets 19 for that. And this is how you do it. And you do have to work for this. This is traveling all over the world. Diana Zavjalova, #1. McEwan, then Zulkifli. Liz Johnson was right there. She almost made another show. Great bowlers there.
These are your world travelers on the women's side.
And so therefore you see a lot of different flags there. It is a commitment. Perfect. Straight through the pocket. Now that will be 30 points for Zulkifli. Strike worth 30. McEwan had a spare with 8 in the first frame. That's why she is at 18. Boy, great track to the pocket there for Danielle. She picks up 30.
Beautiful style and form by Danielle. Down and in. And that great athletic move at the foul line. You notice how she really uses her legs. She's a gym rat. Works out a ton. Keeps herself in great shape.
That's got to hurry, and it does beautifully for the 3-time PWBA Tour titleist. She owns a major. Won the PWBA Tour Championship in 2015 when the tour came back. So Shalin's arsenal. Let's see what she has here. The High Road Nano. She started bowling when she was 9. Randy mentioned she already had success as a teenager. I think she knew that was not her best shot.
Another soft 10 on that right lane, which looks to be a little bit tighter than the left early on. Big high backswing. Nice ball roll. She was trying to will that 10-pin down.
How does that work? Often?
Sometimes.
No trouble there. She is the mother of a 6-year-old. Not sure if her daughter will get into bowling or not. Very active child, does a lot of different sports. So we'll see. Boy, great looking ball there. Just 10 straight back. Nothing lingering on the deck.
I love that if she wasn't a bowler, what would she like to be? And it says archaeologist, a lawyer, or still an athlete, but probably something in a combat sport.
Oops.
So if I just stay down, it should be fine.
There she is with her ball rep, Jim Callahan. You just got to the spot. Going over a couple little finer points right there.
And now McEwan. Off a double. 3 straight. So Danielle has jumped from 18 to 108, picking up 30 every time you strike.
See the visualization there.
Oh, she strikes me as very much the modern bowler, into that visualization, into things, into the gym, into the the right diet and all that. And you see so much of that going on now.
It's like the exact opposite of you and me.
But we're not out there.
Look out.
Oh, broke up a 7-10.
Got a little right. Ball ran out of energy and only the 10 pin. Yep, she knew it as soon as she let go of it.
I find that interesting, and I've said it before, and I'm sure you know why. The universal sign of I don't like my shot is how a bowler just pops right up into a standing, like frozen standing still just for that moment.
Yeah, it's a fear thing. It's a feel thing and a fear thing. You're not really sure what's going to happen, but you know it probably won't be good. As we take a look at our 39-foot sole pattern, players talked to us prior to the start of these matches and said, yeah, the outside part of the lane is kind of so-so, so we're just going to move in just a little bit, and that's what we're seeing right now. I talked to the guys who said they feel that the women are only going to make this pattern easier for them.
A solid 9. Wow, that looked like a great shot for Zulkifli.
Remember the 2 half-tens on that lane, and she's trying to get the ball to finish a little bit stronger. And that time it went a little too hard through the 1-3 to leave in the 9-pin.
And that will give her 19, so she trails McEwan by 10. And McEwan also picked up 19 by making a single pin spare. The winner will face the top seed, Diana Zavjalova, 2-time Queens champion on the women's tour.
Okay. Down.
Messenger, down you go. Down you go.
Good stuff. She was really giving that 10-pin the business. She's like, hey, come on, get over there. Come on, Messenger.
And that 10-pin did listen to the messenger. Randy, we will come back with the conclusion of this first match with the winner to take on Diana Zavjalova.
The Geico World Series of Bowling World Bowling Tour Final, presented by the PBA, is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance by Reno Tahoe. For your next vacation getaway, go to visitRenoTahoe.com. By Barbasol Premium Disposable Razors. You're looking good, America. And by Go Bowling. Promotional offers, tips to improve your game, news, or to locate a bowling center near you, log on to GoBowling.com. So there is the talented Malaysian bowler, Shalin Zulkifli, and here is our Barbasol close shave of the day, getting the pins to behave.
Well, and she was talking to this the whole way down, and watched the head pin come off the sidewall for the nice messenger. There you go.
Yep.
Great react.
She got what she deserved with that shot.
Well, keep in mind, that was after a solid 9 right in front of it.
So again, a reminder, if that strike was worth 30 for Zulkifli's score. Spare is 10 pins and the pinfall the first shot of the frame. The open frame is the pinfall for that frame. So if you leave a big 4 and miss everything, you get a 6. And the max score is 300. You can do it in 10, not 12. Beautiful, beautiful shot by McEwan coming out of the break.
Danielle locked and loaded.
two-time defending champion of this event. On the women's side, you see her arsenal, Alpha Crux. She's got that lane figured out too.
Well, remember the last shot on that lane, she kind of missed right and almost left the pocket 7-10, but not this time. This is perfect. Watch her use those legs. Look at that deep knee bend. She's not short by any means. She's got to get down to the foul line. She's got to use the lower body to create leverage.
So she picks up 30 more to go to 187. So Shalin's really going to need 30 here. No, not even close.
Now, bad shot out of her hand. Missed it at the bottom. I call this the wet bar of soap release. It's when all three fingers kind of come out at the same time. It's like a wet bar of soap out of your hand. That's what the ball feels like when that happens.
So this is a tricky one. Got to get that head pin over into the 10. And she got it. Beautifully done. A hard-earned 16 for Zulkifli. Fabulous shot. And it is our hammer tough spare replay.
Yeah, she converts this perfectly. Head pin into the 10. Ball takes out the 2 and the 4.
Well, she's made more than a few of those in her career to get where she has gotten. Asked for it to sit a little bit, broke up about 3 splits there. And coming up following the women will be the men. And look at this. Look who's on top. Jason Belmonte and Jesper Svensson. Again, just reverse order from the PBA World Championship. And Marshall Kent, another world traveler, the number 3 seed. So it'll be Svensson versus Kent in the first match, with Belmonte awaiting the winner. Steady as she goes on her spares, but that may not be enough the way McEwan is rolling it right now. That's a pickup of 19. So 5 strikes out of 7 frames for Danielle. And a ringing 10 there would look to be a very, very beautiful shot.
It was.
Danielle, top 5 this year on the PWBA Tour in earnings and in points.
Just a little bit farther right. Ball takes its time to get to the pocket, so it comes in at a little different angle, and that's how that ring and 10 was left. But a spare here will give her 19 more. They'll give her 206 in the 8th.
Covered it nicely. 6-time member of Team USA. He was a college star too at Fairleigh Dickinson. Gold medalist at the Women's World Championships. As a matter of fact, you go back to 2013, she wasn't even a pro when she made the TV finals of the US Open for the women. No help there on the 10. Now we need to remind you as we approach the 10th frame that this is not a typical 10th frame.
1 frame, not 3. And Danielle, all she needs to do is convert this 10 pin that she leaves here, and another spare in the 10th frame with good count, and she will shut out Shalin.
Shalin can get to 242 if she strikes in the 9th and 10th. No trouble there with that 10 pin. So let's see if Zulkifli can make McEwan win this one. Needs this one. And mixed it up beautifully.
And a much better shot that time on the right lane. Still has a chance. This one's pretty far to the right, and it comes wheeling back. That thing came all the way back from Carson City.
Oh, okay.
No, you're done. You can.
I'm done?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You're good.
And she had to have the format explained to her also, but she gets one opportunity here in the 10th. So she could post a 242, and that would absolutely force McEwan to mark.
Yep. Oh,
wow.
Well, now it's just about over. She spares it. It'll be 231. Danielle would need 7 pins and 2 balls. I'll tell you what, though, all in all, she pulled a pretty nice game.
Absolutely.
Some 10 pins, a solid 9, made the washout.
So she'll pick up 19 there to finish at 231.
What's interesting, though, is with this scoring, it's 231. With traditional scoring, she would have shot 190-ish.
And that is how you finish off a match. So Danielle Mcewen has moved on to try to win this title a 3rd consecutive year. But standing in her way is one of the game's bright stars, Diana Zavjalova. Should be a match filled with fireworks for the WBT women's title. PBA's Extra Frame is your home for exclusive live coverage of the PBA, PBA 50, and PWBA tours. You can catch this month live coverage of the DHC PBA Japan Invitational. February features live coverage of 4 PBA tour events, including 2 majors. Don't miss any of the action. Click on the Extra Frame link in the menu section of PBA.com and sign up for a yearly, monthly, or 3-day subscription. Time for our Ebonite flashback. Let's go back 5 years to 2012 and the 2nd edition of the World Bowling Tour Finals in Vegas. Here's Missy Parkin. Won her first women's WBT Tour Finals, defeating Liz Johnson, who has never won this event, even though Liz has been all over it in her career. So we go to the men's side. A couple of roommates on tour, Chris Barnes and Mika Koivuniemi. But it's Barnes on top, 244 to 228 to win his first WBT Tour title. Final score, Danielle Mcewen moving on over Shalin Zulkifli, 244 to 231. Randy, we saw some good bowling there. Now we've got a potentially explosive match here with 2 of the young stars on the PWBA tour.
Diana Z's got a lot of revs, a lot of hand, and if she gets the week 10 out a little bit more often than Danielle Mcewen, she's going to be your winner.
So we're going to find out here for the WBT Championship. The World Travelers going at it right now. Danielle versus Diana when we return. We welcome you back to the World Bowling Tour. Time for the women's final between Danielle Mcewen out of Stony Point, New York, And from Latvia, now in Austin, Texas, Diana Zavjalova, the #1 seed, and she is standing by with Kimberly.
She sure is. So, Diana, this is the first year that you qualified for the WBT finals, and you're sitting in the #1 spot. What does that mean to you?
It means a lot. I bowled really good the whole year, so this is my last tournament of the year. So I'm feeling good, confident, so hopefully I can finish off really good.
Okay, well, best of luck to you, and thank you so much for joining me. Guys, we're going to send it back to you.
All right, and let me tell you that Diana has extensive television bowling experience. So here we have that WBT, what we call current frame scoring. One more time on the reminder, because it is very different what we're normally used to. 30 pins for a strike. A spare is 10 plus the pinfall of the first shot. So let's say you convert a single pin, that's 19. An open frame is whatever is left, and the max score is 300. But now you can do it in 10 strikes, not 12. And McEwan will open up on the left lane. And she'll open with a strike.
Danielle's got the advantage coming in off of her win. Diana coming in fresh. Danielle's got a handle on her nerves. She knows exactly how the pair is playing.
Zavjalova with 2 Queens titles, 2013 and 2017 in Baton Rouge.
Pay close attention to this follow through, folks.
No trouble there.
And there's that good hand I was talking about on our on camera.
Well, I've seen her go on strings of strikes. 2014, I was here in Reno at the convention center when she won the intercollegiate singles championship. She was at Weber. And I think, Randy, in a 2-game set, 2 games, she had about an 800 set. She was that good.
Wow.
I mean, seriously, it was something like 279, 289, or in that range.
Right.
It was absolutely a exhibition of striking.
A little strike fest.
Yeah, just a bit. And she won handily.
Watch the left arm out in front of her to keep her shoulders open.
That's
got to hurry.
Yeah. And she's got trouble behind here. So this is where the scoring is going to be a little bit different as we show you what may have happened.
Just got it wide.
Would have helped her considerably had the 10 popped down. So if she converts, let's say the 2 and the 8, which should be the destination, she will only get 9, and she will be at 39. And that's exactly what happened. So a 9 for Zavjalova, and an opening here for McEwan.
Look at that.
That crossed over almost. That was nearly a Brooklyn.
Yeah, surprising that she came away with, or that she came up on that right lane with this type of shot.
So if she converts this, she will pick up 19 and go ahead 10. But she had an opportunity there to put Zavjalova in a 21-point hole there.
I like that little pre-shot routine she does. It's almost like a golfer's waggle.
And she bowls quickly, too, even though she has that little pre-shot routine. Once she's on the approach, she's off, and she kicks aside the 10.
No moss growing on her. She gets up, looks at her target, looks to see where she's putting her feet, and goes.
Let's go lane side with Kimberly Pressler.
Thanks, guys. I'm joined by Shalin. Shalin, you did well today, but it wasn't enough to take down Danielle. What were some of the struggles that you were having with this pattern?
Well, I had some problem on my right lane. Made 1 or 2 bad shots, but I couldn't carry on my right lane. I had a solid 9 pin, in one of the frames, so I couldn't get connection. So that was kind of the thing that made it like a bit difficult for me to catch Danielle. Yeah.
Well, you did well, and you made it to the finals, but what's it like traveling around the world bowling?
It's really fun. I'm really fortunate that our country really is into sports, and they pay for all of our expenses and everything on the PWBA and also here. So I hope I did my country proud.
Oh, I absolutely believe you did. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Dave, I'm moving to Malaysia.
They can't afford you, Randy. They can't afford you. Diana going with the spoiler. Oh, she got spoiled there by a ringing 10-pin. She picked up 30 in frame number 3 with a strike and has a chance to go with 19 here.
I mean, this is a beautiful shot. And the 6 doesn't do what Diana Z would have hoped. It goes right around the 10. But I got to tell you, Dave, I'm going to talk to Diana after this show and see if she can help me do something with my hair.
That is kind of her signature look. She's had that look for a couple of years, and it works well for her. She's very happy about it. And she is settled in Austin. She talked quite a bit with us about the commitment it takes to succeed in the WBT, and she wasn't sure if she should go for it or not. And she said, you know what, this is what I do. I'm a professional bowler. I'm going to go for it, and it pays off with her being the #1 seed.
High again, coming up this time leaving a split. Danielle needs to move on that lane. The high rev rate and aggressive equipment that Diana used not only in practice but is using now has broken down this pair.
So McEwan's going to need 2 pins here to tie it. Going to go for this.
How about 3?
She got it! She got it!
Beautiful shot here, sliding the 6 over into the 7. Almost didn't catch enough of it, but the 7 goes down. Nicely done.
So, like I said, she gets 17 for that. And maintains her lead. We could have had a tie.
Oh.
And then she gets one of those as if karma said, you owe me one.
Well, you know, giveth and taketh away.
Now, while we look at this shot again, let me ask you, what could be going through Diana's mind? She sees her opponent look, oh, okay, this is going to be good for me, and all of a sudden it's not.
Well, I think Diana's got a good look now. I think she knows exactly how to play the lanes. Now it's just a matter of execution.
Not even going to bother treating that 9-pin with the contempt it deserves.
Oops. Trying to make a hook.
No, don't. Just commit to it, and you can plumb it. You helped it shape, so just commit to what you're doing. Roll it. Just shoot, pattern, hook. Yeah, good. Okay. She's still good job.
She's trying to make it hook, and Callahan's telling her just let it shape itself. Bowling ball's strong enough, you don't need to help it into the pocket. Jim Callahan, her tour rep from Storm.
Zavjalova kicks aside a stubborn 4, and Diana will go into the lead. Years on Team Latvia, by the way. She's had a great international career in addition to what she's done in the States. Shooting for 148 if she can pick up a strike here.
Looks good.
Yeah. So Diana Zavjalova with a strong performance, overcoming one early trouble, while Danielle Mcewen will now have to try to rally to maintain her spot atop the World Bowling Tour. So the final frames of the World Series of Bowling World Bowling Tour Finals. Standing up now, Danielle Mcewen in the 6th.
Strike, she can pull to within 3. Wide right.
You could hear her muttering right away when that ball did not react the way she wanted it to. So we've seen one of these made already. In fact, it was made against Danielle by Zulkifli. And now it'll be up to McEwan here.
I think this was an attempt to not try to grab the holes on the way out, because the last couple of shots going high, and she dead misses this at the bottom.
Well, that's going to be an 8 on her scorecard. So she's now at 123 and suddenly behind by 25.
Working that rosin bag.
Perfect.
Yep. I think what I would do if I was coaching her right now is I'd tell her to move in on the right lane. Move your feet and your target left. Go ahead and get a handful.
So Diana Zavjalova in a position here. She has thrown strikes in the 5th and 6th to build up this lead. Rooting for that, and she talked herself into a single pin at least, as the 2-8 was broken up at the last second. So if she converses, she'll get 19.
Well, no 10-pin with it, so it's okay.
So it looks like the right lane is giving them both difficulty.
Yeah, it's getting a little goofy. You know, you get it too far right, it overhooks, and get it in a little bit and miss it, it goes long.
And we are on a 39-foot pattern, the Seoul pattern, named after South Korea's Seoul, not S-O-U-L. Straight at it, and 19 for Zavjalova. Well, it is time for a little Randy Peterson track tech talk.
Got a beautiful game. I really like what she does. Shoulders stay nice and open. That follow through goes left of her head because the shoulders never get parallel to the foul line. Kind of her signature move.
The left lane's been a little bit better for these two, but however, a soft 10 there for Zavjalova, who has 167 to 153 over McEwan. So 186. But a strike here from McEwan, and she will pull to within 3. But it's the right lane, and that's been the trouble lane for both.
If she goes high on this ball, she definitely has to move left.
Or she can just shred a rack.
Yeah, good shot.
And she's within 3.
She has to finish on that lane, but good thing is it's only 1 frame and not 3. Her 10th frame will be on this lane. This lane looks a little goofy.
And Randy, that's a great reminder, because the 10th frame is just like any other frame here. And there's no carryover. So even though McEwan has struck in consecutive frames, you really can't say she's doubled. Trying to get to 213 here. Perfect. Beautiful shot. 10 swept aside.
Here comes Danielle.
So her max 243. And Zavjalova's max 246.
Come on.
No. 4-pin left standing. That changes a lot because now, if she converts this, she'll have 19. That'll go to 205. She'll be 8 behind McEwan.
Well, it looks like there's just a little hang spot at about 45 feet on the right lane.
But that's the lane that Danielle McEwan will be finishing on. Can't let this one get away, and she doesn't. I want to remind you that still to come will be the men's finals. First match, Jesper Svensson versus Marshall Kent. And 9-time major champion Jason Belmonte, the top seed.
The strike here, she forces Danielle McEwan to strike in the 10th.
Yeah, she really tracked that in. That was a gorgeous shot. So 235.
Strike to win, but she's got to do it on the tricky right lane.
And that's the only thing she can do. She has to strike. This is an all or nothing shot here for McEwan. And she will not be a 3-time champion. Unbelievable ringing 10. And Diana Zavjalova is your World Bowling Tour champion. As we always seem to have in this building, 10th frame drama. No matter how many shots you get in the 10th.
So the winning continues for Diana. 2-time Queens champion, college champion, and now a world champion. She defeats Danielle Mcewen. Diana Zavjalova, your WBT women's champion. Tremendous match, always an exciting finish. And now Marshall Kent and Jesper Svensson will face off for the right to face Jason Belmonte.
The Geico World Series of Bowling World Bowling Tour Finals, presented by the PBA, is brought to you by Go Bowling. Promotional offers, tips to improve your game, news, or to locate a bowling center near you, log on to GoBowling.com. By Barbasol Premium Disposable Razors. You're looking good, America. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Eldorado Properties, downtown Reno's Eldorado, Silver Legacy, and Circus Circus. Fun for everyone. Well, let's take a recap of our women's championship final. Zavjalova, absolutely perfect when she had to be, and picks up a win, really making all of that extra work and extra time pay off. Danielle McEwan had to strike in the 10th, came up with a ringing 10, and Zavjalova is your winner by 3. She's standing by with Kimberly.
Thanks, Gabe. So, Diana, you know, when we talked yesterday, you said that you made the conscious decision in 2017 to go to every single WBT tour because you wanted to make it to this finals, and now you're standing here in the winner's circle. Put into words what this means for you.
Oh my gosh, I can't put into words because honestly, I felt very uncomfortable the entire match when I bowled. Even though I bowled really good a whole year, but for some reason this match I felt uncomfortable and I didn't throw very good shots. But I kept telling myself, you know what? Sometimes you have to deal with it, and it's going to be good enough, and it was good enough. And Danielle bowled amazing, and honestly, I'm surprised she didn't strike it because she threw really, really good. But it feels amazing.
Are you going to make it back here next year?
I'm going to do everything I can. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, and congratulations on your win.
Yeah, this was a terrific final because these are two of the brightest stars in women's bowling going at it head-to-head. There are two of the brightest stars in men's bowling, Belmo and Jesper. But first, Jesper Svensson's got to get by the super talented Marshall Kent as the World Bowling Tour Finals shifts to the men. Inside the National Bowling Stadium, the World Bowling Tour. We have crowned one champion already, Diana Zavjalova. And now it's time to crown the men's champion. We begin with a Marshall Kent-Jesper Svensson matchup. And Jesper Svensson's already had triumph in the National Bowling Stadium, winning the Cheetah Championship in powerful and impressive fashion.
Yeah, he was really making a mockery of the 10 pins down lane with his power and accuracy.
Thank you, Storm. Thank you, boys. High five, Gary, for helping me out.
And Kimberly is standing by with him right now.
Thanks, guys. So, Jesper, you had a pretty successful World Series of bowling, and you won the Cheetah Championship a few weeks ago. So how do you take the momentum from that win and apply it here today to take home another win?
Just try to surf the wave a little bit. Just keep the confidence going and throw good shots, and I think we're good.
How's your ball reaction so far?
Feels all right. Haven't really looked about the other guys, but I can only do my shots and my frames, so I'm going to try to do the best of it.
All right, thanks so much for your time. Guys, we're going to send it back to the booth.
Thank you both very much. Of course, Jesper is the only one going to work that left side of the lane. Not going to have to worry about anybody else mucking up his oil on this 39-foot sole pattern. So Marshall Kent will start things off. Four-time PBA Tour champion, looking for his first major. And we'll see what happens when we get to big February. And Kent in trouble early.
Just a minute ago.
Great comment by Marshall Kent. It hooked there a minute ago.
That's how quickly things can change in this sport.
He liked it.
He's going to take a run at this, and he's going to miss. So that's going to be an 8 for Marshall Kent. So an opening for Jesper Svensson. Remember, 30 for a strike. Stubborn 7-pin there.
I don't think he liked that one out of his hand. You could see him kind of gesturing. You don't see Jesper Svensson leave a weak 7 very often. That ball definitely did deflect. You can see it as it went through the pins.
Now, Svensson had a remarkable World Series of bowling. This is his 4th show. So you do this by earning points from around the world, and the top 3 finishers here, of course, Belmonte, Svensson, and Kent. And that order there between Jason and Jesper not decided until the PBA World Championship. Sean Rash 4th, Stu Williams. And again, you see a lot of different flags. Only 3 from the U.S. there, 3 great ones.
Needs the hook.
Left more on the deck than normal. So he seems to be a little out of sorts in the very early going. The good news is he's out of sorts, but he's leaving behind single pins.
Yeah, real easy spares. Just a 9-pin. Shouldn't be an issue at all for Jesper.
And it is not. So again, another 19 for Jesper. So one more time, let's remind you about this unique format, the current frame scoring. 10 frames, no extra shots in the 10th. Strike is 30, spares 10 plus the pinfall of the first shot. So Svensson with 2 19s to start. Open frame, pinfall for the frame. That's why Kent has an 8. And the max score, 300. We're not going to see that here. And you can do a 300 with 10 strikes, not a dozen.
Marshall Kent making a ball change here.
Oh, come on.
That's right through the nose, and he hated that shot immediately.
Start. A lot of down lane reaction for Marshall Kent. You know, we did some exhibitions over the summer in Japan, and we were at Kadena Air Force Base in Okinawa, and we were bowling a 4-game no-tap pro-am as Marshall covers the 3-6-10. So I'm coming off of 1 and 2, and I just got done shooting 187 no-tap.
Okay.
And Marshall comes to that pair and shoots 300. Natural.
Oh, my.
And if you don't know, now you know. A no-tap is when a 9 on your first shot is equal to a strike.
What's the story you told that he can do a two-handed, one-handed, left-handed?
Well, during our exhibitions, he'll do a thing where he throws a 3-bagger. He throws a strike left-handed, right-handed, and two-handed.
Yes, it is better. So 30 for Marshall Kent there. We'll give him 55 as we take a moment for our Columbia Fun Fact. A bowling lane is 41.5 inches wide and features 39 boards. Each board is 1 1/16 inch wide. The center of the pocket for a right-hander is between the head pin and the 3-pin on the 17.5 board. Randy knows that pocket well.
Right there. This little area right in there.
And trouble's continuing for Jesper.
Right now, Jesper probably feels like he's slowly being poisoned. Tough break here, leaving the 6 and the 8.
Let's see if he can. Cannot convert, so 9 for Svensson will give him 47, and he will trail by 8. It'll be the pitch black in his arsenal. And Svensson taking maybe a little extra time. Got to get himself together here as he moves over to the left lane.
Yep.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's poison.
Wow.
Pretty good shots last couple for Jesper. No strikes to show for it.
And again, you can't rely on a big 10th frame rally here because you only get one in the 10th. One try.
Carried.
It carried. So he'll pick up 19. And sit
Maybe I
at
should just aim for light mixers. Seems like hit the pocket's not very good. Huh?
Well, at least he can laugh it off a little bit.
At least he's comfortable.
That he is. Eschewing his chair for a more comfortable spot near his ball team.
Let's see if Marshall moves even deeper on this lane.
And I don't know if the messenger was that close. He leaves behind a little extra work.
Well, it looked like he did move farther left and makes a pretty good shot here. Yeah, in front. Looked like the head pin got redirected on the way by.
So two guys who can throw tons of strikes, not able to get ignited here yet. So give Kent 19. And he'll maintain an 8-point lead. And in Marshall's article, he's got, survey says, high road nano.
Thanks for that, Richard Dawson.
Anytime. Left lane for Kent. This is the lane where he has the 1 strike in the match. And make it 2 as he buries 10.
You know, we talk about the power of Jesper Svensson and Jason Belmonte, but this kid's not holding back either. He can really get a lot on it. Throwing 16-pounders, or as you like to call it, man weight.
Well, that's a term copyrighted by our pal Chris Barnes.
Yeah, well, we know that. And now the viewers know that. But Marshall Kent can sure bust on it when he wants to.
Boy, that look on his face is like when you're standing on the tee and you look at the fairway and it looks so narrow, you feel like you can't hit it. Then again, you can bomb it down the middle 300 like that. No problem.
That's more like 340. 104 through 5 for Marshall Kent. 96 through 5 for Jesper, the Iceman Svensson.
Yes, tap on the 7.
Carries the leaner.
And he'll go back to being comfortable. We will step aside. You get comfortable as well. We got a big finish coming up. The winner of this match takes on 9-time major champion Jason Belmonte. Will it be Marshall Kent from the right or from the left? Jesper Svensson. So there you see the board. Jesper Svensson with back-to-back strikes. That's 60 points. And he now has a 22-point advantage over Marshall Kent. But Kent can take that right back and go back in front by 8 with a strike here. Strike worth 30 in this current frame scoring. And the 10th just be a regular frame. These two met, although with others, in the Roth-Holman doubles in Maine in 2017. That's got to hurry. Ooh, it does. What a wicked snap hook on that ball.
Yeah, that ball went out for burger and fries and came back with steak and lobster.
You know, I've never done that before. I should try that sometime.
Well, you should. You got to live a little there, Dave, but watch this.
And Marshall was with E.J. Tackett. Jesper with Kyle Troop, and it was the Svensson Troop team that prevailed.
I think 2017 was by far Marshall Kent's best year out on tour.
Yep, 2 titles. Expert Frame Lubbock Sports Open in Lubbock, Texas, and the Grand Casino PBA Oklahoma Open. Ooh, explosive strike by Kent. Ooh. And that Oklahoma title was an important one for him. It got him off the TV schneid.
Yeah. It was also 4 of the best shots he's ever thrown in his life, coming down the stretch against Chris Barnes, who bowled magnificently that day. But Marshall was completely lost and needed the last 4 to force Chris Barnes in the 10th. And he threw 4 spectacular shots, 9th and 10th frame.
So look out through the nose, just a hair. So Svensson will try to cover this to pick up 19.
A little high again on that right lane for Jesper.
And his first major, became the youngest ever to win the prestigious Tournament of Champions. Remember, he's only 22 years old. already with 7 titles. He will go to 145, and you can outfit yourself like the pros with official PBA jerseys that are available exclusively at PBA.com. The jerseys are made from high-performance fabric and can be customized for each person or your team. Click on the menu tab of the PBA.com homepage and select the Shop PBA link to get started.
I think Jesper and I should go get matching tattoos.
That's a lot of ink. Beautiful, powerful shot. The kind we have come to expect from watching Jesper.
Oh, Marshall Kent keeps striking and increases lead. Another strike here in the 8th. He's going to go to 194.
Well, that's what we were talking about, getting off the TV schneid.
Yeah. You know, and it wasn't that he bowled all that bad. I mean, he bowled some pretty nice games on television, just ran into some buzzsaws.
Uh-oh. Now, this is makeable, no?
Oh, yeah. He's going to try to get his ball over here into the 3-pin, throw the 3 over into the 4-7, and the ball will take out the 6.
If he can pull that off, he will get 16. And his lead will shrink.
A little bit.
Way wide. That's going to be only 7, and he's now behind by 4.
Crazy.
This game. I don't know how you did it.
Big opening. And that was after the shot that he got wide on that lane and came back from way downtown. He gets that one in just a little bit, and it's 6 through the middle.
Jason Belmonte awaits the winner. We could get a rematch of the PBA World Championship that Belmo won a week ago. That's just an absolute autopilot strike.
Beauty there by Marshall. Nice comeback after the open in the 8th. Strike in the 10th for him, he'll have 231. Jesper, strike in the 9th, strike in the 10th, 235.
So the only way Jesper can maintain his lead is with a strike. And he will fall behind.
Once again, another 6-pin.
En enda jävla gång med fått på den här jäveln. Varje gång.
All right, so I know what he said there.
Do you?
Yeah, I just can't repeat it on national television.
No, you cannot. I don't think you could repeat it on Swedish television either.
He's like, wow, I just went 6-pin, then I move, I go 6-pin again. What am I supposed to do? Give me a break. That's exactly what he said.
Okay.
As far as you know.
So this to get to 194. So again, we're not going to get 3 chances in the 10th frame. You play the 10th like a normal frame. So Jesper is gunning for 224. That's his max. If he strikes, Kent will have to strike.
Your math is getting so much better.
I just do whatever Mike tells me to do. Our scorekeeper deluxe extraordinaire, Mike Edwards. Yes, and it counts. 224, and Kent is faced with strike or nothing.
On the right lane, where he's coming off of that wide open 3-4-6-7 split. Messenger. Oh, yeah. It was there. Watch it. Here's the head pin. Airborne. That's redonkulous.
Very simple. We can't make it any easier, and Marshall Kent is well aware You get 30 here. We saw this earlier in the women's final when Danielle Mcewen had to strike to win and did not. Kent does, and he will advance. So Marshall Kent had to have it in the 10th, and he got it. And it will be Kent and Belmo going at it head-to-head for the World Bowling Tour Championship. Clutch stroke for Marshall Kent. Jason Belmonte stands as the #1 seed. Now he and Marshall Kent will go at it to determine the World Bowling Tour champion. Now standing by, Kimberly Pressler. She's with the CEO of World Bowling, Kevin Dornberger.
Thanks, Dave. Hi, Kevin. Thank you so much for joining me here. So, you know, the WBT, the World Bowling Tour, is now in its 7th successful season. So what do we have to look forward to in 2018?
Well, we want to expand the tour, obviously. We want to add some tiered events. We want to add some more PBA events. I'm going to sit down and talk with Tom tonight, in fact. Add some Asian Bowling Tour events. Add some of our zone championships, European, Asian, American zone championships. And allow more athletes to compete against the best in the world.
That sounds great, and we look forward to it. Thank you so much for joining me, guys.
All right, thank you very much, Kevin, and Kimberly, thank you as well. Now, let's take a moment to give everybody another bowling tip here from Randy. This is a really cool thing we're doing, our Go Bowling Fan Tip of the Week. We're going back out to California, where Randy is from, and let's talk to Cameron to see what he wants to do.
Hey, Randy, this is Cameron from Double Decker Lanes in Rohnert Park. Just curious, what are some good ways to get some more revs on my ball?
All right, Cameron, thanks a lot for your video. What you need to do is you need to load that wrist up a little bit more. As you're starting in the downswing, get that wrist to cup, maybe a little bend in the elbow, and then right when you get ready to let go of it, it's kind of like throwing a yo-yo. You got to uncup that wrist. The faster you snap that wrist open, the more revolutions you put on the bowling ball.
That is our Go Bowling Fan Tip of the Week. Well, this is the final competition of the 9th Geico World Series of Bowling. So we're going to take a look back at an event that began with a team of superstars from around the globe trying to avenge a loss last year to the USA, but the Americans would dominate. Kyle Troop led the charge. Bill O'Neill followed in more ways than one. And Matt McNeil locked it down. Next came a history-making moment as Liz Johnson became only the 2nd woman ever to capture a PBA title, and she did it in the Chameleon Championship, beating out major champions Tom Smallwood and Wes Malott before taking down Anthony Pepe in the title match. Newcomers Richie Teese and Charlie Brown Jr. made it past veterans Marshall Kent and Tom Doherty to face each other in the title match of the Shark Championship. In the end, it would be Teese who would bring home his first PBA title. He was able to do it in front of his mom and dad, who flew in all the way from England the night before. There was no stopping #1 seed Jesper Svensson in the PBA Cheetah Championship. The man who dominated World Series qualifying kept the momentum going to win his 7th career PBA title. And it was an emotional win for Jesper, who dedicated the victory to a dear friend who recently passed away.
And to everybody at home, I love you guys. Thank you.
2 players of the year, E.J. Tackett and Jason Belmonte, would meet in the title match for the Pepsi Scorpion Championship. The heavyweight matchup lived up to the billing, even with an ailing Belmo, who in the end could not keep up with Tackett's heavy firepower. The win was Tackett's 3rd title of the year, 9th in his career.
Yes.
But Belmo would be back for the final major of the year in the PBA World Championship and dodged a big bullet here in the semifinal match when Ryan Simonelli needed a strike to win. Didn't get it. And tied the match and sent Belmo and Simonelli into a roll-off. But Belmo left the door open again.
Oh, come on.
strike, and Simonelli wins.
Ace, baby, that's ace. Oh my God. How does that not work?
Belmonte survived. He moves on. Title match against #1 seed Jesper Svensson. And there, in a close match, Belmo had to strike in the 10th, where Jesper was the winner. He gets the strike thanks to the messenger. 9 or better on this ball, and he is champion. An incredible clutch performance by Jason Belmonte, the only man ever to win 3 major championships in a single year. Well, can Belmo bring home another trophy here at the World Series of Bowling? He faces Marshall Kent in the WBT Championship match next.
Jason Belmonte, Marshall Kent to determine the champion of the World Bowling Tour on the men's side.
Don't forget, coming up February 4th, join us along with Chris Paul, James Harden, T.O., Mookie Betts, among many others for our State Farm CP3 PBA Celebrity Invitation. Watch these superstars team up with some of the PBA's best on Super Bowl Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern.
I can't wait. I'm hoping I get to meet James Harden.
You know, Randy, I bet he feels the exact same way. Let's go down to Kimberly with Belmo and Marshall.
Thanks, guys. So, Marshall, you got that first match jitters out of the way. Are you making any adjustments coming into the final?
You know, I finally got my feet under me after a couple frames, kind of saw what the lanes are doing. So I think I have a pretty clear picture in my head of what I want to do. Now it's just about executing and see what happens.
Thank you so much for your time. So, Jason, you have a very lengthy resume, but you've never won this. What would it mean to you to take home this win today?
Yeah, it would certainly be the icing on the cake. You know, I've made these finals a few times. I've never really bowled my best, so I'm hoping to wash away the past and bring up something new and different this week and bowl good.
All right, well, thank you so much for your time. Guys, we're sending it back to you.
Randy, those two are on the air, Kimberly and Belmo, more than Kelly and Ryan. So Marshall Kent will start things off. Now, when you are playing someone who's been on a roll for several years, as Belmo has been, do you block that out of your mind?
Oh, you have to. I mean, there's no way you can execute if you're intimidated or at awe about with the person you're going up against.
And Kent shows right away, throws down the challenge and picks up 30. And not trying to imply that Marshall might be intimidated, but Belmo is just such a beast that him just sitting there, you wonder, are you trying to beat Jason Belmonte, or are you trying to beat those 10 pins?
You're trying to beat Jason Belmonte.
Who leaves behind 1.
A little late getting there. What a great show that World Championship was that Jason won. As you see, that ball just finishing late. Just an amazing guy, and to think he's got 16 titles, 9 of them are majors.
A little trouble with the approach there. Well, and he was so remarkable in the entire World Series, making 5 television shows. Let's see if we can spot something a little off there with maybe just a stick.
It looked like the heel kind of chattered a little bit on that approach.
So in this World Bowling Tour scoring, he picks up 19 for the single pin spare. That's got to really hurry. And it does. So Belmo picks up a quick 30.
And my best Marv Albert from way downtown. Looks like somebody kicked that one left. This guy, he's in the gym all the time.
And seems to have found his shot, as he kind of indicated to Kimberly in the interview.
Yeah, looks good. We were doing an exhibition in Yokohama, Japan, and one of the fans wanted Marshall's shirt. So he took his shirt off and handed it to the fan, and then put another T-shirt over himself. Well, let me just say that when he took his shirt off, I wanted to go and hide. Talk about making somebody feel bad.
You know, he might have felt the same way if the roles had been reversed.
Oh, no, he would have felt awful if he'd have saw, if it was reversed. I'm sorry.
Perfect start.
Beauty Butte.
90 for Marshall Kent as we head laneside and Kimberly.
Thanks, guys. I'm joined by Jesper Svensson. Jesper, you had a really great World Series, but you struggled a little bit on this pattern. What went wrong?
Well, I think very, very small things. You know, I had a chance to strike out the last couple of frames to win and couldn't really do it. And on this level, the guys you bowl against, if you give them an opportunity, they're going to take it, most likely. So I just couldn't finish it off, and that's disappointing. But hands down, Marshall clutched it when he needed to. So.
Well, this may be disappointing, but you did have a great World Series. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And at 22, he's going to have a lot more great World Series, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Kimberly and Jesper, thank you very much. Timeless for Belmo on this and his arsenal.
By the way, did you check out the last messenger that that Belmonte just threw?
Looked like it was thrown by Drew Brees. So Belmo down 11, and we may have a strike fest here. The exact same messenger that you saw during the interview.
We'll take them. We'll take them.
Well, I can honestly say I've never done that.
So in the fourth, Kent realizing what he's up against. Let's see how he responds.
Beauty.
As
magnificent shot by Marshall Kent. He's got 4 in a row to start.
Marshall Kent, super powered strike that time.
Well, you know, I talked about his power earlier, and he's showing it. He's not shy when it comes to getting all over it.
Same could be said for Jason Belmonte. The strike fest is underway.
Yeah, but it's more than that. It's a pin carnage. It's an absolute raw display of power and pin carnage. That's all I got for you.
So through 5, Just the 19 by Belmo is the only non-X on the board. And remember, you only need 10 to be perfect here. And my goodness, just smothering Belmo and Kent. Uppercuts, left hooks, right hooks, jabs, you name it. These two are going at it. We'll conclude this match when we return. It's been spectacular here in the World Bowling Tour Finals to conclude the Geico PBA World Series of Bowling here at the National Bowling Stadium in Reno with Kimberly Pressler, Randy Peterson, Dave Lamont. And here you see Marshall Kent and Jason Belmonte. Their scores speak for themselves. Big snap and too heavy there. He leaves behind a makeable spare. And he'll look for 18 here, and actually he will now fall behind even if he makes it. He will get 18 if he makes it and fall one back.
Well, I think the transition finally got Marshall. This looks pretty good, and then right at about 5 feet in front of the head pin, that power is unleashed and it goes high.
And 18 for Marshall Kent. So, give you an idea of the World Series of Bowling. 195 competitors, 26 countries. Liz Johnson making bowling history, the second woman to win on the PBA Tour, joining Kelly Kulick. Richie Teese, his first time on American television, and the Englander comes through with a shark. Jesper Svensson dominated in the Cheetah. E.J. Tackett picked up another title, the Scorpion Championship, and then the drama generated by Jason Belmonte to win the PBA World Championship. That was utterly thrilling to watch. And the show had 2 one-ball roll-offs in it. Incredible. And we're finishing in style here. And Kent will sweep aside the 10. Now we should note this will not count on their resumes as PBA Tour titles. Belmonte was 16 of those, 9 of them majors. Kent without a major at the moment, but 4 tour titles. Oh, what a ringing 10. There was even a brush of the 6 going by the 10, and it wasn't enough to take it down.
Dave, that wasn't a brush. That was the wind of the 6-pin going around the 10.
Really hard to believe this didn't strike.
Look at how fast that went around, even in slow motion.
So now Belmo gets 19 and he falls behind. That's how quickly things can change with this current frame scoring format. He trails by 10. Put up 30 for Belmo. He's at 218, so if he strikes out, he'll go at 278.
Well, I'll tell you what, I really appreciate good bowling, and we're watching that right now with both Jason Belmonte and Marshall Kent. Now, Marshall's going to get up on the right lane now and make an adjustment. But that ring and 10 in the 7th for Belmonte was vicious. strike here for Marshall, and he will take a 10-pin lead.
His max 288. Tell you what, though, in this format, if you don't strike, you pay.
Yeah.
Wow. He's not going to pay.
Well, it got there. It took a long time to get there, but it got there. This covers a lot of territory. Big shot coming up here in the 9th frame. If Marshall strikes here, he can't be shut out. Hold on.
Brooklyn.
Stop next time, Marsh.
Might have been distracted by something. He talked about stopping next time. Might have heard a noise in the crowd that caused him to lose his concentration just a tick. So this would be for 247 if he makes it.
Oh. Look out.
And instead, it's 237. Goodness. It changes that fast.
Well, he still has 267 possible. If.
Well, he can still win for sure.
If Belmonte goes 9 spare here, they'll be tied. Last time on this lane, remember that massive ringing 10.
Well, 2 strikes and Belmo will win. That's how you take care of a ringing 10. You just smother it with a 6-pin. Simple as that. Goodness, no chance for the 10-pin to stand up straight on this one.
One way of taking care of the 10-pin, you smother it with 15 pounds of filth.
For the win. And you know what we're looking at here, Pards?
No, let me guess. A tie?
Precisely. Belmo converts this. Kent strikes. We tie. Simple.
Pretty good shot. And the messenger doesn't come off the wall.
So he must convert this to force Kent to strike. Very simple. All or nothing shot again for Marshall Kent. In the first match against Jesper Svensson, he's faced that same scenario and drilled it. This time, he doesn't win with a strike. He'll force a roll-off. On the right lane. He's done it again in the 10th frame, and we're going to a roll-off.
Well, if you didn't know it before, you know it now. Marshall Kent is good. Real good.
So a little extra work for these two. They don't mind, and here's the handsomest man in America to explain what's going to happen next.
Ladies and gentlemen, by World Bowling Tour rules, this match must be decided by a 1-ball sudden death roll-off. The higher seed, Jason Belmonte, will get choice of lane and starting order. Both players will throw 1 shot on the same lane. If the tie remains, they will continue alternating lanes until that tie is broken. Jason?
Yeah, can I start on the left lane?
Belmonte is elected to start on the left lane. Good luck, bowlers.
All right, very simple. So this is just a one-ball roll-off. Let's see who's better. How many clutch strikes has that guy thrown in this city? Hundreds?
Yeah.
Thousands, maybe?
A lot.
So Marshall Kent, very simple, same thing again. Third time in this event. Strike or you're out. He's 2 for 3, and your winner is Jason Belmonte.
Right there.
It looked like that shot there got caught up in Belmonte's jet wake. Pushed it a little right, never got back to the pocket. Belmonte wins again.
I know he loves his native Australia, but maybe Belmonte ought to think about getting a place around Reno or Tahoe maybe just to hang out. Because he owns this town. And Jason Belmonte picks up another victory.
Thank you.
The Geico World Series of Bowling World Bowling Tour Finals presented by the PBA is brought to you by Go Bowling. Promotional offers, tips to improve your game, news, or to locate a bowling center near you, log on to gobowling.com. By Reno Tahoe. For your next vacation getaway, go to visitRenoTahoe.com. By the United States Bowling Congress, creating competitive opportunities at all levels as we build a future for the sport. Visit bowl.com for more. And by PBA Bowling Challenge. Bowl against your friends or the PBA pros. Download the free app today. Well, you know, when you come to the World Bowling Tour Finals, you get a gift from the champion. Autographed ball for that young man. Standing next to Commissioner Tom Clark. That'll be a keepsake for a good long time to come. And our Geico Championship recap. First, let's go to the women's final. Diana Zavjalova prevailed.
Diana Z striking in the 10th frame, forcing Danielle Mcewen to strike. A beautiful shot by Diana Z. But here's McEwen's attempt for the win. Great shot, bad result. Diana Z captures the women's side.
That's for you. Oh my God.
And for the men's final, it came down to the best player in the world, Jason Belmonte, needing to strike big in the clutch.
He needs a strike in the 10th frame to win it all. He forces a roll-off. Marshall Kent must match that strike. He does not. Leaves the 2-8. And the victory goes to Belmonte. Now let's throw it down to Kimberly with our winners.
Jason, you said earlier that if you won this, it would be the cherry on top. And here you are standing in the winner's circle. Are you ever going to get sick of winning?
No, I will never get sick of winning, that's for sure. But to win this title in an event that I've been in the finals for a few times now, it's really nice to be able to bring one of these home, considering I haven't always bowled my best, and I felt like today, you know, I threw my timeless ball awesome, and it did the rest for me.
How would you summarize your World Series?
Bloody brilliant. It's probably the best 2 words that I could put together for that. I've had some really successful World Series. I've had some not so successful. This year, it really meant a lot to me, obviously, with the Player of the Year up for grabs and earning 3 majors in a season and a few other things. It's been a really, really emotional year for me.
Do you pinch yourself in moments like this when all these fans are yelling your name and you're winning?
every time I come out on TV, I always take a moment to look around, look at the fans, and just kind of, I guess, be really excited and take it in, because what I do for a living, I'm really blessed to do, and I know a lot of people out there wish they could do it. So while I'm in that seat, I'm going to look around, enjoy it, and thank everyone for coming.
All right, congratulations, Jason.
Trophy case crowded in the Belmonte household these days. Coming up February 4th, Super Bowl Sunday, the State Farm CP3 PBA Celebrity Invitational with Chris Paul and James Harden, T.O. and Mookie Betts. Congratulations to our winners, Diana Zavjalova and Jason Belmonte. For Kimberly Pressler and Randy Peterson and our ESPN crew, I'm Dave Lamont. We'll see you Super Bowl Sunday.
I got one. I finally got one.